Hey, welcome to the closing beat, everybody. We're just gonna start this thing, right? Let's get this thing rolling today. How's everybody doing today? Welcome to our show, quick stock market update show that we do every day, and kind of cover all the good, the bad, and the ugly that's happened in the stock market. Lots of good today, if you ask me. We'll be sure to cover that, and hope you'll check us out at Jazz Wealth Managers. JazzWealth.com is actually the website there. And we'll just be going over this, so hope to help you. I'll go through everything, and then we'll take your questions as we go. I appreciate you joining us. Let's talk about the stock market today. You see green on the right-hand side of your screen today. Largely positive day. In fact, the stock market actually recovered from early morning declines. We were lower to start the day and actually finished the day back into the positive. Up here at the top, you can see how we started down on the day all day long, all day. Just got a little bit of a rally there to finish out. Just a touch positive on the day there. That's going to be new all-time highs. If I zoom out here and take a look, you're going to see new all-time highs there. We just got more clarity on the vaccine, a little more excitement there. Stimulus progress, I hear there's been even more progress where we dropped some of the clauses in there on the Republican side. And so now we're able to maybe get something done. We'll see. I think it's going to go into the weekend, but we'll see what happens there. If you take a look at the S&P, we're now up 17% year to date. Is that a lot? Is that a little? Is that good news, bad news? What is it? Well, we've already covered this a couple times actually for customers. We'll go over here and take a look at this one. This is a chart from one of our classes that we've done every Thursday. I do a class for customers called Wine and Wealth, where we just hang out and talk about some things there. If we're up 17%, you can look over here at the chart and see this is the distributions in terms of yearly returns for the stock market going back to 1928. So if you go, actually, if you're one of our customers and you go in the dojo, look in the video library, you're going to look under S&P distributions if you want to take a look at it. And this is one of the charts from that class. So we're up 17%. In fact, about 8% of the time, the stock market returns between 15 and 20%. It's kind of rare. So either we're going into the end of the year, likely with a rally to head us up over 20%, or we pull back a little bit and we'll end up somewhere here between 10 and 15%. It'd be very normal for that to happen. I also then put a little bit of a stat off to the left-hand side that says just over half the time the stock market gains more than the average. Now, this was a fun class actually we did because what I was trying to point out was the average market return after inflation is just about 7%, just over 7%. It's over 9% if you don't account for inflation. And so we said, well, either way, look at it. The stock market very rarely returns the actual average. It's usually much higher or much lower. So it's kind of like you're disappointed most of the time because you don't see the average return, but in reality, they are just an average there. So just wanted to point that out, something interesting to take a look at. If you're one of our customers and you want to take a look at it, if you're not one of our customers, what are you waiting for? Come join us, man. See what's going on over here. If we take a look at the NASDAQ today, that was going to be one of your better performers. It is now up 62% of every single day this year. That's the highest since just about 2 years before I was born. If you're curious, that would be 1980. In that year, it gained almost 34%. And the next year, it was down 3.2%. So not too bad there if you're curious. Do really strong years with high number of days being in the positive result in weaker years going forward. Yeah, but it's not too bad there. If we look at the Dow today, it was trying to get back to double digits actually, and trying to get to double digits, sitting here just at those all-time highs. If we look at the DIA, we haven't quite made it to double digits there yet. Largely held back today because of Home Depot. Home Depot, which is really just working on trying to find a new little temporary low. I don't know that it falls much more from here, but that was your biggest drag in the NASDAQ overall. If you look inside of in the Dow. If you look in the Dow, your healthcare stocks led the way. You got Johnson & Johnson, nice little move there. If I zoom out, you can see it's headed back towards those highs, not looking too bad. And Amgen, one of the better performers as well, up 2%. Trying to work its way out of a downtrend there. The action today was all in the Russell over here. The strength was in the Russell, up 1% higher on the day. Took yesterday off, but today getting back to work. It is the clear leader. It has been the clear leader, looking good. Over the last 1 month, it is up just as much as the S&P is up for the entire year. It gives you an idea of how fast that's moving there. If you're curious, the healthcare stocks in the Russell 2000 as well as industrials led the way. Plug Power hit new 52-week highs. Strong gainer on the day for them. That was the biggest contributor actually for the day there. And an honorable mention to Cody's favorite stock, Penn National Gaming there. That one hit new highs today, was the second biggest contributor in the Russell 2000 today, even with something like Stitch Fix, which I don't know if you happen to see what Stitch Fix did today, basically gaining 40% on the day. It's a big gain for them. In fact, let's try something here real quick. One of our tools that we're working on here is just to take a look and see how often do things like this happen. Let's say, how often is Stitch Fix higher than 10% in a one-day period? And it's not that old of a stock. I'll go back 5 years. I don't even think you can go back that far. So let's say 5 years. How often does that happen if that'll do? 12 times in the last 5 years it's gained more than 10%. So here's every time that it's gained more than 10%. Here is what happened the day before and what happened the day afterwards. Let's try something real fun here. Let's just see 20%. I mean, it gained 40% today. So if I look back to the 20% gains, it's happened 4 times, including today. So you've got 4 gains of over 20%. This is the best day ever for Stitch Fix. Stitch Fix is going to be earnings related if you're taking a look there. They beat on earnings by 26 cents. Revenues came in better than expected. They got a new CEO. It's a person from Amazon, actually. One negative that stands out here, every day that it's gained more than 20%, I get it, the data's limited, but every day that it's gained more than 20%, the next day it was down anywhere from as much as about 7% to pretty much a flat day there. So we'll see what Stitch Fix has going forward there. We'll see what happens. What else do we have? Hey, FinTips videos this week. If you want to check them out, which retirement accounts should you have? We covered that on Monday. Tomorrow, we're going to cover the 1 rollover per year rule. Did you know that's a rule? We're going to cover exactly what that means. It's a little outdated, but we're going to cover it and go over that for you because I get that question a lot. And then on Friday, we're going to expand on our question that we've had here last week on the closing beat. Does the market go higher when everybody's bullish or mostly bullish, or does it pull back? Is it contrarian or is it momentum? We'll see. And then, of course, our Wine and Wealth class this week, we're going to do the normal Wine and Wealth class, but we may squeeze in another one there to go over all of these things that we're adding into the dojo for you guys, get you up to speed and see what's going on there. Let's go over to our sector breakdown for the day. How are we doing with that rocket ship launch thing? I got to watch that. Oh, man, they're going to launch the ship while I'm talking. This is crazy. You guys know that thing's coming up? Don't tune out for the moment. I'll let you know when they launch the ship there, but really cool. Hey, energy, biggest gainer on the day today. Mostly, if you look at the stock market, you're mixed today as far as the S&P sectors go. 5 higher, 5 lower, and then energy just blasting away, beating everything there. You can even see it pretty clearly on the chart there. You got a handful of 5 moving above positive, 5 below positive, and then you've got energy just doing the craziest thing there. Most volatile area of the day today. And that's just a little bit of a disconnect between your Chevron and ExxonMobil. One higher, one lower. So you got a little bit of extra volatility there if you're looking. If we look at the strongest movers today, you got Occidental Petroleum and Marathon Petroleum. We'll start with Occidental Petroleum here. Occidental Petroleum did happen to be one of the strongest. We happen to own it, so we're excited about that. They got a positive rating on some new debt that they're going to be issuing there, so looking good there for them. It is also the second best performer over the last 1 month period. If you want to take a look, we zoom in. That's just the best performer over the last 1 month period with a 91% gain. Gives you an idea how crazy the moves have been in that space. We look at Marathon Petroleum. That one continues on its 55% move since those lows there about 1 month ago. It's the fourth best performer over the last 1 month. Continues to look really, really strong there. I'm going to go over to healthcare next there. It's mostly virus focused today. We can tell that because if we go into healthcare, we zoom into just the 1 day performance today and we see who was the biggest contributors. It's those related to it. It's your biotech stocks, your Pfizer, your Merck, AbbVie, Amgen, Johnson & Johnson, Eli Lilly, and things like that. That's largely how it's been over the last quarter. If you want to take a look at the biggest contributors, aside from a few insurers, it's going to be the same exact thing, taking a look at what's moving the healthcare space if you're looking in there. Consumer staples today, mostly a broad rally, right? If I look throughout the day, only a few stocks lower on the day. Most everything was positive on the day for the consumer staples. I just thought that looked like a good area there for you. And if we look at utilities, it's not really doing anything yet. You can see it's been pulling back over the last month. But from this point through the rest of the year, historically, utilities ranks as the second best performing sector. So if we look back over the last 20 years, you typically see a little bit of a bounce going into the end of the year with a median gain of just over 2%, and it's positive 15 of the last 20 years out there. That's the kind of thing that we like to cover on our research site. If you want to join us, it's actually $13 a month if you're not one of our customers. It is free if you are one of our customers. And we like to cover all kinds of cool, different things there that sometimes expand on what we're offering here on The Closing Beat, but also try to give you ideas. Where should you be looking? What's going on? What's hot? What's moving the markets right now? And maybe what's out of favor as well. And so one of those things that we're going to touch on here, and then after the show, there's going to be a full post of this on the research site, is what's been going on in the market relative to the high beta names, low beta names. Where's the action going there? Now, beta is just a fancy way of saying stocks that are really sensitive or extremely sensitive to the market's moves, meaning they move more than the market or in line with the market. And low beta names are just a way of saying that these are stocks that really don't move based on what the markets do. They kind of slosh around, but other than that, they're news-driven type stocks. Well, here we go. If we look at the watch list here, what we have is, well, I'm going to go over here. We're going to use this one actually, so I'll start here. I've got a list of stocks there for you. What we found is that yesterday in the NASDAQ, the high beta names were the biggest movers, those that are most sensitive to the market's fluctuations. Low beta names, not so good, right? They were just kind of floating around there. So if we look at the markets as a whole, what we have, we took the Russell 3000 and we said, okay, let's do those, organize them in deciles, meaning groups, 10 groups, and we organize them by beta to kind of see, is that the same case in the broad market? The NASDAQ 100 has the higher beta names moving, you know, your Facebooks, your Tesla, things like that. And if we look at the whole entire market, in fact, the highest beta names, those most sensitive to the stock market's moves on the day, are really not doing much. All the action is down in those low beta names, those maybe those value stocks that are just floating around there, not doing a whole lot. So we thought that was kind of interesting. So we said, let's look. It teaches us a few things, by the way. It tells us that those big name tech stocks, really where the excitement's at. That's where it's been. That's where it continues there. It's most likely going to be what it takes to move the tech sector to new highs. Because remember, the tech sector is not participating with the market. Covered that yesterday. Also going to cover that in a research post as well. But the tech sector hasn't been to new highs in a couple months now. But we need the tech sector to move us, the stock market, to continue moving higher, maybe to get to that 20% area that we talked about. So it's likely telling us that these high beta names are going to be what moves the tech sector to new highs. It also tells us that there's still a lot of interest in these low beta names overall, beat down value stocks that have been getting a lot of attention here lately. So what we did is we looked at all of the stocks in this decile, right? Happens to be a lot of stocks in there. So what we did is we filtered those by the top 10% best performers in the last month, right? We want to see those that are currently moving. We want to filter out all those that are not currently moving. So we're looking today, the list that you see off to the right are the lowest beta names out of the Russell 3000, but that also happen to be the best performers. This is a little bit geeky today, I understand. We'll cover it on the research site to expand on it, and there's a full list going on there. So I will pull up my handy dandy list here. Let's go over and take a look at some of these stocks here. Make sure I've got my right list here. Do I? I think I do. I do. Okay, so moving on. First one up, Acadia Pharmaceuticals there. A bit of a technical analysis here as well, almost back to these highs. So a little bit of a pullback after hitting it the first time, maybe building up cause to move to new highs there. What we did in the research site to expand on this is we put on there both the earnings estimates for next year and their revenue, so you can see if they're profitable. Earnings estimates for next year are actually negative. They're expected to show a little bit of a loss. Revenue obviously positive going forward. 22% 1 month returns overall for them, so looking pretty good there. And technically, I wanted to point out that technical pattern there as well. Corcept, okay, so this is in the healthcare space as well. A profitable company, earnings next year, 96 cents a share. That's good, obviously. It's up 34% over the last 1 month. You can see it there on the screen looking really strong. Just a sloppy, but a recent little breakout there, and maybe a little bit extended in the short term, but a lot of momentum going into this stock here. Something to take a look at there. And these are names you might not hear about a lot, so I like to cover these every now and then so we can go into this. ACNB, this is in the banking sector here. These guys really have no earnings. It's it's a trade, right? It's not really an investment there. Revenue over the last 12 months there, 87 million, smaller bank there. It's one of the cheaper stocks on the list and has been showing momentum up off those lows. Typically, very low beta name, as you know, based on our watch list here, and just starting to show a little bit of momentum there. So it's kind of an off-brand, not such a headline type name you might look at there. Hanes Celestial Group here, big on the organic stuff going on. Very strong, nice, consistent momentum to the upside there, up 25% over the last 1 month there. Earnings next year expected to be positive, $1.46, and continues to be strong, looking good in the short term, if that's one you want to look at there. Here we go, moving on. Vila, this is a biotech stock. You find it in the healthcare sector, which, by the way, on the research post, I put the sector in there for you as well, give you a little further review. Now, this is not a profitable company, one of the cheaper stocks out there, expected to lose money going into next year, quite a bit actually, but in the short term, getting a little bit of momentum from these biotech stock moves that you see, so becoming a little bit more correlated to the moves instead of what you've been seeing here in the short term, or in the long term. Veresteam. This would be the cheapest stock out of the group overall. So if we look at them, expected to lose $1.04 a share next year, up 67%. It's your best performer in the entire list that we're going to give you on the research site as well as here. And revenues of about 91 million bucks. But these low beta names getting all the action in the last month. Doesn't matter what you believe about the company, you can see it in the last month. Look at all these charts. This is where people are looking. They're not over here with the Facebooks and Tesla's exciting and all that great stuff, but there's action over here in these low beta names. That's kind of what I wanted to show here today. I believe I have one more for you. Vexart. Let's see if we can put that one up. There you go. Same thing. Over the last month, you got a great, just a lot of interest here in the stock. Obviously, very consistent and able to see that. Second best performing stock off the list, up 62% in the last month. Again, these guys lose money. It's a low price stock. It's not a recommendation. It's just to point out, look at that. Every single one that you look at in the last month, somebody's buying them up, right? Or large groups of people, indexes and stuff are buying them up. So where the action is, take a look at the action, maybe do a little research there, see if you're interested. Again, all of it's available on the research site if you're interested in taking a look at a full list that just sort of hones in. It's like 35 stocks that we put on there, just so you can see quickly, like, there are other things to invest in besides like Twitter or whatever everybody's looking at. NEO. So something to take a look if you're interested in that. We'll let the stream catch up just a little bit. I'll cover some stocks in the news, and let's see what we can do for you here. Well, Tesla is in the news for a number of different reasons. They haven't launched the rocket yet. We're getting really close. It's like 5:45. 5:45? 5:45. Oh, man. All right. I just see all the steam coming out of the rocket now. I know that means we're getting close. I don't want to miss it. All right. Thank you. Appreciate that. Stocks in the news. Tesla. So Tesla is going to be issuing $5 billion in new shares. Raise money when you can, right? They're going to use the money now to erase some of their debt. So I think they're doing good things with that. The stock is obviously on fire, getting included in the S&P 500. If you can issue more shares to the tune of $5 billion, not really hurt anything, and get to pay off some debt because people love your stock, do it, right? Raise money when you can, not when you have to. Also, side note, apparently Elon Musk has officially moved to Texas. He's left California, sold off everything. Yeah, can you blame him? I mean, can you blame a brother for moving? I don't know. Moving on. So we've got Baidu here. They are going the opposite direction. They're going to buy back $1.5 billion worth of stock, and the stock was higher by about 0.5% today. Stitch Fix, we already covered. That's earnings related. 40% gain on the day. You know the stats now behind all of that, so that's pretty cool. Toll Brothers down 8%. 8%. We happen to own this one. Don't like to see a move like this, but these home builders have been overpriced, right? It's a good thing if you've owned them. We've owned it for some time now, but it's a good thing. It just went a little too far too fast. The price doesn't represent what the company's doing. So it's something to pay attention to there. Revenues are good. Earnings came out. They beat on earnings by 32 cents. It's just nothing you can get excited about. I think they sold a few less homes than expected, but that momentum was so strong going forward. Just normal for this to take a break. Feel like Howard Stern, Siri. I guess he signed a deal, right? Was that Howard Stern? Another 5 years to keep doing the Howard Stern show. Stock moves higher by 1.3% on that news. After hours here, I'm seeing a few things. FireEye is trading lower by about $1. FireEye, which this is funny, it's a cybersecurity company. They were hacked. Looks like they were hacked there. That news came out after hours, working with FBI and Microsoft to try to address that. Whoops. And Buckle higher by 5.33%. They're going to be paying a $2 special dividend. Last year, about this time, they paid $1.25. So obviously an improvement. That's much better than what they did last year. They're known for doing this. It's just better than what they did last year. So investors very happy with that. I would be happy too. Costco just paid out $10. Obviously, that's a good deal there. Earnings tomorrow. We got Campbell Soup. Yeah, Campbell Soup coming out. Adobe Restoration Hardware, or RH is what they like to call themselves. You got dividends from Travelers, CME Group. That's pretty much it. Yeah, pretty much it there. I'll take some questions if you happen to have any questions there, and we'll see what we can do. Today's action in the small caps was across the board. Small cap growth, small cap value, and of course the index itself did well, which we covered. Looking good. I've had a lot of requests actually that we take Friday off from doing the show. Oh, he's all about it. There's a lot of people were saying, hey man, we need the markets to pull back. Would you mind just taking a day off so the markets would fall? So it didn't do it last time. Well, that was a whole kind of a week. That was Thanksgiving week. So, but yeah, typically the markets fall when we're not here. So we'll take it into consideration, but got nothing else to do. See what we can do there. I love it. Don't buy on a big down day. Don't sell on one big up day. Don't buy on the first big down day, and don't sell on. I'm sorry. Don't buy on the first big down day. Don't try to short on the first big up day. Yeah, you got it. Mm-hmm. I love it. Really hoping for a market pullback. I love it. You're looking for AMT. Yeah, REITs sold off kind of hard there towards the end of the day. If you look at AMT, this is one that was very much in favor for a while, helping move the whole entire REIT sector. One of the bigger weighted stocks in the sector there, which you can see on our research, our sector tool. But nonetheless, it's been pulling back here in the short term. I think you're probably in the area right here where any big down day would be buyable, not sellable. Very similar to gold in that pattern we took a look there. I think for a scalp, you're pretty much in the area. If you're looking for something there to start a new position or just for a short-term trade, we'll see. We'll see what happens. That's just one that if you saw a big down day, I think that's not a reason to run. I think that's your opportunity. Yep. Mm-hmm. What's going to happen with the Airbnb IPO? Probably launches Thursday, I believe. It'll be this week, but I think Thursday is going to be the day that it goes, and I have no idea what happens. IPOs they're a gamble. It's a bit of a lottery ticket there. Very tough to invest or take a position on those in the first couple days especially. Yep. Looking for a pullback in the semiconductors. I would like that as well. Yep. Mm-hmm. I love it. Yeah, when you look at put-call ratios there, there's a number of different metrics actually you can look at that really kind of read a bit overbought in the short term. The problem is, why sell? There's this really interesting time in the market for the next couple weeks where volume's expected to be low, not a lot of news, if anything positive vaccine-wise and election transition or whatever-wise. That's largely seen as positive. We've done the stats on all of that in our classes to show presidents changing hands if that's what happens, and how the markets respond. But why sell now when you could just sell a couple weeks from now and put that gain all the way out into April of the next year? So with all that in consideration, it's kind of tough to look at some of these metrics and say, we're overbought, right? We need to pull back. Where's the selling come from? Who's going to volunteer to sell and take that capital gain? That's what I think is a tough one. Yeah. Why do companies that don't make a profit get so much attention? Sometimes they lose money yearly but still get bought. Yeah, Uber is a great example. Lyft. Yeah, big profile headline names that just consistently lose money. Look at Chewy. Actually, Chewy, we did a research post on this. Cody did one on this. They're obviously heading in the right direction, and that's what he showed in the research post. Earnings are getting better. They still lose, but they're at least getting closer to breaking even. Revenues are obviously increasing, so people are shopping there. They've got all the right momentum, so the bet or the belief is that you're buying something that will eventually be profitable. That's what I have for you there. It's a tough argument to make, but in good times, good markets, not necessarily good economies, but good markets, that's the bet that people make there. Yeah. Still see mortgage rates moving lower. I think you're flatlining here, right? I think you're flatlining. Bonds have become increasingly price sensitive to the market. So I don't see any reason why you're going to see them just significantly drop from here. I think you just got basically a back and forth within a little bit of a range for rates. Yep. Oh yeah. I think that's it. Well, we did it. We covered everything here today. I'm going to go step aside and try to watch this rocket take off. I think it's cool. What do you think? Probability? You think it's going to work? Odds of success?
Yeah, it works.
You think it works?
Yeah.
I'm going to go opposite of that. I think it's a fail. I hope it works. I just think the way they're trying to do this thing, the way it has to come back down, I don't think it's going to work the first time, guys. Let me know in the comments section. You think this SpaceX rocket will hop and land successfully? I'm cheering for them. I just don't see it happening, man. Enjoy the rest of your day. What?
Doesn't sound like you're cheering for it.
I mean, you want success. Maybe the next one is better, but I just don't think so, man. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you tomorrow. See what happened.